Hello, Red Sox Nation. David Price was brilliant today, putting the finishing touches on Sunday's sweep of the Rays, leading the Red Sox to a 5-1 week. We'll talk all about it, look ahead to the All-Star game and the series with the Yanks tonight on Red Sox Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I'll take $1, Bob.
Oh, I think we got room for a Plinko board right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I love it. I love it. Had to come into the Price is Right because for once, David Price, the $31 million man, was right on today.
Sure was.
Eight innings pitched with a 4-hit ball. No shutout. They wouldn't let him come out there for the ninth. Huh? Well, let's get that pitch count up to 125. You're a horse.
Yeah, got a couple days
Give
off
him a
coming
complete
up.
game. Yeah, exactly. He's not going to go till when? Next Sunday?
Yeah.
Crazy. Let him out there. How we doing, folks? Alongside Ben Fay, I am Mike Conley. This is another edition of Red Sox Wrap 360, our weekly rudderless discussion of all things Red Sox. How we doing out there? You got to be doing great as a Red Sox fan because it was a great 5-1 week. Beat a tough Rangers team, took 2 out of 3 for them. Kind of a little payback from them taking 2 out of 3 on their home soil. And then we swept the Rays, which is what you should do with the Rays.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the past couple of weeks, we've been a little bit struggling lately. And how good does it feel when you have a nice homestand week against a couple teams who are struggling? Definitely makes you feel a little bit better after a week like that, doesn't it?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And you know, we've spoken recently, Ben, about on this program about how difficult the Red Sox schedule is going forward. So these are the type of homestands we have to have. These 7-2 homestands. So we got another big homestand coming up. After the All-Star break, we'll, get 3 with the Yanks, and then there'll be another homestand. But then it's on the road for quite a long time. I think I heard them say today during the telecast that 40 out of the last 62 games are on the road.
Ooh, wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's rough.
So that is, I probably should have jotted that down. I think that's accurate, though. I think Dave O'Brien said that today during the telecast.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, even after the past couple of weeks we've been struggling, we're only 2 games out of first place in the AL East. So,
right.
I mean, granted, it's a competitive AL East, and there's still a long way to go, but it makes you feel a little bit better that even after tripping a couple weeks in a row there, we can still be pretty competitive. So
yeah, and it's like, it's funny because when you look around this division, and we knew it was going to be a hotly contested division, but how closely the teams mirror each other. Like, Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston all have fearsome hitting lineups.
Yep.
And are just somehow making it work pitching-wise at this point with smoke and mirrors. Baltimore, I mean, they're like, their Tillman is like our Porcello, he doesn't lose at home. And he just somehow piles up wins,
right?
Right. And then like whatchamacallit, the Blue Jays have some question marks too. Estrada's going great for them, but he's a little dinged up right now. Yep. And the guy that was supposed to be their ace, Stroman, he's not as good.
Yeah,
but
yeah, definitely competitive in the AL East. And we were talking about Texas last week, how on fire they've been lately. And you even mentioned it. Their injuries. They're going to be a scary team when they're healthy. Luckily, right now, they're a little bit reeling from the injuries, and I think I saw that they just lost to the Twins today. So apparently the Twins, have their number on the season. But,
That's why we love this game of baseball, because on any given day, man, Minnesota's horrible. They get the worst record in the AL.
Yeah.
And they beat them 15-5.
And it's been like that the whole season. I think, out of any team, the Twins have the Rangers number. So
yeah. That's why it's tough to really just get too far ahead of yourself on a 162-game season,
Yep.
It's you just can't. And here we are, we're just over halfway over the season. There's still a lot can be played out. I mean, think of all the teams that had great first halves. An awful team could just turn it around and have a second half just like their first, So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a long season, folks. That's why I don't look at the standings till August 1st. I try not to, but they're on the Green Monster.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to miss them, right?
Oh boy! But wheeling and dealing this week as we get close to the deadline. Picked up some guys this week.
Yeah, we did. We picked
No
up a
pitches.
couple guys.
We did get a pitcher. Yeah.
Well, we did get a pitcher. We did get
No starting
Ziegler,
pitcher.
which was pretty good. I'm not sure if they saw this coming, but pretty good foresight, because we actually had an injury to Craig Kimbrel this week, and it's going to hurt. So I've heard he's going to be out 3 to 6 weeks. He's going to have surgery to repair a left knee medial meniscus tear.
Now, and take this as a lesson to all pitches, okay? When you're shagging flies in the outfield, you don't go after the ground balls, all right? Wow. Because that's what happened. And he tears his meniscus.
Oh, yeah. So it's just, I mean, that's terrible. I mean,
to
that really
3 to
hurts
6
because
weeks.
that's an area we're thin at, right? So now we're going to be taxing our bullpen even more because we don't have that go-to guy, for the saves and for those late game appearances. So
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was just right on the money there with the Ziegler, but he said that the talks were already in the works.
Yeah.
Because Ziegler is actually more of a replacement for Carson Smith
yeah, right.
as opposed to
Right.
to Kimbrel. And moving forward, it sounded like what Farrell was talking about. It's going to be Koji in the closer role.
Yeah,
And then if he's not available, it'll be Ziegler. Ziegler was in there in the night today, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
How about that?
It
1,
looked
2,
good
3
today.
ninth inning.
Looked good today,
It was
right?
terrific.
But I mean, yeah, I'm definitely worried about marching Koji out there all the time now, because he's been looking pretty inconsistent with how much we've been using him lately. So
Yeah. It's true. Like, because I envision Ziegler as more of a guy, and I'm glad they're not just saying you're the closer and just putting him in that ninth alone, because he, of all relief pitches, he leads the league in ground ball double plays, 10. So that's a guy you want to have come in when you're in a jam with the runners on.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for a clean inning in the ninth. You
Right,
know?
right.
So it's like, and that was going to be the role that Smith was going to play in that bullpen, and why we were so excited about this bullpen coming into the season. But to be able to get Ziegler, crafty little, the sidewinder, you gotta love that little submarine action, and he's effective. So I'm quite excited with that pickup. That was already in the works.
Yep.
And then early in the week, we got a guy I like, a career 312 hitter coming in at Fenway, Mr.
Aaron Hill.
Aaron Hill.
Yeah, he
Former Blue Jay.
Yeah, I thought that was a great pickup. That was an area that we were really soft. Getting a right-handed bat in the lineup, which is exactly what we've been talking about all season, how we're missing another righty in the lineup. He can play third base. He can play. Can he play some other positions? I'm not sure if he plays anything outside of third.
He could play second. He came up as a second baseman, and I think he's. I think in a pinch he's played some outfield, but mostly
Okay.
second and third baseman.
And
But
we
he
didn't
played-
have to give up too much to get him. I think we just gave up to get Aaron Hill. We gave up like a couple of prospects that from what I heard, they weren't projecting to be major league players. So
Rijo was a second baseman. He was in Portland.
Okay.
And they like him a little bit, but obviously not enough to not trade him. And then the other guy, the pitcher, was in AAA. And he
Okay.
was a little bit older, but he was doing well.
Yeah.
He was doing well. In fact, I think I read some article on Boston.com this week. I forget who the author was, but he was offering up him as a potential rotation guy to come up.
Really? Okay.
And then he was kind of throwing out this idea, and I've kind of thrown around this idea a little bit in my head of like kind of going old school with the pitching and having like a starter come in and go until he can, and then or like 5 innings, and then have one reliever come in and do the rest. You know, like a split game.
Yep.
Because you have all these guys, these starters that are maybe ineffective, but hey, they're great 2 times through the lineup. Okay, we'll have 2 guys go out there 2 times through the lineup. And it's like I think people like managers and stuff, they get caught up sometimes on getting the guy the win in that 5 innings pitch. It's about getting the team the win, buddy.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if we have to stick 2 guys out there, and have them be very effective 2 times through the lineup, then that should be close to a full game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I'd like to see them do more of that.
But yeah, back to Aaron Hill. Aaron Hill played great. He got his first start on Friday, played well. I think he's a guy that's gonna come down and be a really big addition to this team. He also today he had a great snag at third base today in the 8th inning. Going to his left, got that line drive, and it looked really good. So if the offense is there, is the defensive there? One question I have for you is where does that leave your boy Travis Shaw? Because if Aaron Hill starts playing well, does that start taking reps away from Travis Shaw?
It sure does.
Yeah. So
it's unfortunate, but Travis Shaw hasn't been hitting lefties.
Yeah.
And Aaron Hill rakes versus lefties. So first things first, he's definitely going to be playing against lefties.
Yep.
And I'm thinking he's going to get a lot of starts versus righties too. This guy can mash. I mean, he had like 30 something bombs one year for like, I don't know if it was when he was with Arizona or back with Toronto. Well, let's find that out. But, I mean, I like this guy. I was actually, I told you.
You were saying,
yeah.
But if you didn't say it on the show, you know that it doesn't count.
It's true. It's true. And it was a great comment.
But I do appreciate that insight. That's why the viewers, they tune in, Mike, because they want to hear this kind of stuff.
Yeah, look at this guy, man. Dude, 2009, 36 bombs, 108 ribbies. This guy matches. The following year, 26, 68 ribbies. In Arizona in 2012, as recent as 2012, 26 homers, 85 RBIs. This is a great guy to pick up. And you knew Dombrowski was going to do something like that, And that also looks like a serendipitous move where he's like right on the button. Because we get an Aaron Hill and hand ram fouls the ball off his foot. Travis Shaw kind of does the same thing.
Yep.
Even who else did that today?
Well,
Jackie Bradley, I think, did it today.
I didn't see who did it today. We had a couple other injuries this week. Brock Holt sprained his ankle on Friday, sliding into second.
Yeah.
Which it didn't looked. I mean, he looked like he was in pain, but
looked awkward.
Yeah, it looked awkward.
They're not putting him on the DL though, right? It's day to day.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have to see on how that goes. Maybe they'll just wait till after the All-Star break until they do something there.
Yeah, they can always retroactive them, But yeah, and Hill, that was a great debut the other night. 2 RBIs, one was the game winner.
Yep.
He rakes.
That's
a nice pickup.
No, go ahead.
So that's who we gave up. We gave up the pitcher and Rijo for him, right? For Aaron Hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then who do we give up for
Ziegler? Ooh, I'm not sure. And then, we also had a third trade this week where we got Michael Martinez.
Michael,
is that his first name?
Michael Martinez.
And, the ultra utility guy, which, I mean, we were just talking, Brock Holt went down with the injury. So, I mean, again, he's just right on the ball.
Yeah.
Seems like he almost has like some future vision or some weird telepathic thing going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been making some. You know what the best part about this is I feel like what he's been giving up to get these guys is way lower than the value that we're going to get from him. Like in terms of getting that extra utility man to shadow Holt, in terms of getting that relief pitching, in terms of getting that right-handed bat. I really feel like we didn't give up that much.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is kind of the market we're going to be wanting to shop in.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's going to produce a very underwhelming return when it comes to starting pitches that are going to be out there in the market we want to shop in. Because everything you hear with Dombrowski, he keeps saying, well, it's a seller's market out there. And that being said, that brings me up to something crazy, okay?
Yep.
Now, this was mentioned a couple times on this program, and I just instantly dismissed it because I just couldn't believe it, that it could happen, but could there be a trade market for Clay Buchholz? Because it is a seller's market, and there's going to be people throwing crap out there on that seller's market asking for a big return. Why shouldn't we do the same?
Yeah, but what are you going to get from him? I mean, what we really need is pitching.
This is my question.
So
that's true.
I don't see.
But maybe we can get something for him and take advantage of this market and maybe replenish some of the prospects that we're going to lose to get. A frontline guy, or I don't even think we're going to get a frontline guy.
Yeah.
Pomerantz and Rich Hill, they're going to be expensive now. They're like those two guys in Tehran. There isn't as many guys out there at this deadline as there was last year or the year before. I mean, David Price got moved the last two deadlines.
Yeah.
Nobody of his ilk is going to be, making a move during this deadline. Nope. And so maybe it was great. Maybe it's David Price is being acquired by a team for the third straight trading deadline. It's just this year it's the Red Sox, and he's just flipping the script a little bit.
Yeah.
Flipping the script from being, hit around the park to being a shutdown guy. I mean, granted, I'm not getting too excited because it is the Rays.
It was the Rays at home.
But
so, yeah, I
nevertheless,
think they've lost like 22 out of 25 or something like that.
Yes, they're not doing good. They're the only team that's out of it. Because the Yanks, the Yanks are like, I think they won today. They're one game under 500.
Yeah,
and
so that puts them like, 6 games or 7 games behind us.
Right.
Or behind Baltimore.
So let's just sweep them next weekend and,
yeah, that would be great.
A little more.
That would be great. But yeah, I think even 2 out of 3 there would be good.
No question. It's in the Bronx.
They're a 500 club. Yeah, it's in the Bronx right after All-Star break. So. So, yeah, today we had Price do well, which we talked about. We had Ortiz get his first home run to left field this season, which was nice to see. Yeah, he had it was like almost a pop-up.
Is that
from
true?
the way that it came off the bat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was just a breeze going that way, but yeah, it was out.
Wow.
And it was not
close.
close.
I didn't think that's his first one to left field.
First one to left field this season, yeah.
That is crazy.
Yep, so.
Oh, man.
But it wasn't like some of his line drives off the wall, though, either. It wasn't like solid contact. He just got under it enough and put it up into the air,
It was definitely a Fenway homer.
Yeah, but that puts him up there. I think he had that's his 22nd home run this year.
Yeah.
So he's been raking. He's like nearing season highs for himself at the All-Star break.
Insane.
So he's having a crazy good season. We talk about it every week. It's awesome.
Yeah. And so that puts him at 523, 524 career?
525, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Just keeps climbing that list too. Keeps climbing that list.
Yeah.
In doubles list, he's going to be top 5 in doubles, the top 3 in doubles when he's all said and done. And the Red Sox this year are on pace for 400 doubles. Never been done before.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
It's really what I'm pushing for as a Red Sox fan. That's the one record I really want to get, that doubles record.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Do they put an asterisk on that when they win the doubles record? They'd be like, oh, well, they did play in Fenway. 50% of those came off the wall.
This is true. This is true. But those could be singles. Those off the wall.
That's true. Or they could be outs.
It's true.
So.
But you got to love the way they're playing going into the break. You just hope they can kind of somehow keep this momentum going. Another guy who's been spinning it pretty well for us lately is your boy Rick Porcello.
Ooh, yeah. He's been crushing lately. 2 wins this week and looked pretty solid both. Looked really good yesterday. They won 4-1. He's still undefeated at Fenway this year. I think he's 9-0 now at Fenway.
I think that's the best I've seen him pitch in a Red Sox uniform. Saturday's game. He was lights out. And
it's like almost every week we talk about it, like how good his performances looks, and yet every week he'll have that 1 or 2 innings where he gets into a little bit of a bind. He gets the bases loaded, or he gets a couple guys in scoring position, and he just has these really gutsy innings where he just guts it out. And maybe he'll let a run or 2 score, but never the grand slam, never that heart-wrenching play. I just really like the way he's pitching. He looks really good right now.
Yeah.
That was a huge addition for us. When you talk about aces this year, you talk about Stephen Wright, you talk about David Price, but Porcello quietly flying under the radar is our ace as well.
11-2, right? An ERA in the high 3s.
Yeah, he looks
take
good.
That. That's worth $22 million a year.
Yeah.
People will be lining up to get that for $22 million a year these days.
Yep.
And I can remember when Cherington signed him that deal. I'm like, what? He hasn't even pitched a day in Boston yet. It's but hey, that could prove to be a decent deal.
Yeah.
And you kind of I hate just fondly looking back on our previous GMs, but it's kind of hard not to this week with like.
Oh yeah, have you seen all the articles about Theo?
Oh,
man,
yeah,
he's just loving it right now. He's living on cloud nine right now.
Man. And then I could
Because what does he have, like 7 or 8 All-Stars in the game or something
it's
like
crazy. The whole National League infield is cuts. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't like it when like the one fan base that's engaged just stuffs the ballot box. So like everybody, all Cubs fans were in from day one this year.
Right.
You know? So it was the same thing as Kansas City last year. They had all those guys. But it's like, then guys miss it. I mean, you know, Daniel Murphy should be starting at second base. You know, somebody else should be starting at shortstop instead of Russell. Corey Seager should be, you know. But anyways, I don't know. What did you think about the All-Star rosters? Anything? Anybody got snubbed?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got everybody in who we thought we were going to. I mean, I could have seen a case for Pedroia getting in there, just given, you know, how long he's been in this league, and he's having a bounce back year as well, you know, himself. So, you know, it would have been nice to see him get in, but I think he ended up like 3rd in the overall voting. So I mean, that's props to him, you know.
Yeah. Oh, inside second base.
Yeah.
He was he was on that final vote thing for the AL. You know how they give 5 guys, and then you can get one more guy in. I don't know if it's a fan vote or how it works. Maybe it's one more fan vote. Yeah, I think it's one more fan vote. And so Michael Saunders from Toronto Blue Jays got in, and he's having a good year. And I think he's a first-time All-Star. So I like to see that. Plus, Petey, it's like there was another guy on that list, Ian Kinsler, that I thought should have been going.
Okay.
Because I mean, outside of like Altuve at second, it seems to me like he's having the best year as a second baseman. So I only vote for the Red Sox that I think should start. You know, I mean, that should be in there. You know, so Petey's having a nice year, and he's a personal favorite of mine, but that doesn't garner my vote. You know?
Yeah.
You know, you just so obviously but Poppy's in there.
Betts. Poppy, I mean, we got 2/3 of the outfield in there, which is great. Yeah, that outfield is so sick.
It is so sick. And you know what I was thinking today? I was watching a little bit of the Futures game. Is that Anthony Benintendi? His name starts with a B.
Yeah, it does.
And he can cover some ground in the outfield a little bit too. Like at least can cover left field and Fenway like no problem.
Is he coming up this year, you think?
Bees outfield. I mean, he started off a little slow when they first brought him up to Portland, but now he's absolutely raking. He's like he's 35 for his last 99, you know, and he's got like 6 bombs in that stretch. That's like the last 3-4 weeks. So it's almost like he's already outgrowing AA right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, if Bryce Brents continues to hit, you know, then
Bryce Brents has been doing great lately for us too. Whenever we call his number, he's ready.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And he got his first major league home run this past week. Or was that last week? But yeah, I mean, he's been good, and you know, he plays a decent outfield.
Yep.
But not quite Benintendi caliber. But yeah, I heard something where Dombrowski kind of hinted, oh, you know, I've jumped guys from AA to the majors plenty of times in my career, you know. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't think he's not going to trade for any more bats. Like, he won't trade for an outfield bat. He's like, if it comes to bringing Benintendi up, he'll do that. Before
I mean, that's when it comes to our prospects. I mean, that's where our strengths are, is the outfield. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
Speaking of strength, and one which we dealt from in the outfield depth department, Manuel Margot. Did you see him today? He robbed some dude of he was playing center field for the world team, and he absolutely robbed some dude of a home run.
Oh wow.
And it was like had a beat on it, broke on it right away, and like on a dead run jumped into the wall and made the catch. It was impressive. Yeah, like watch SportsCenter tonight.
It'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be there. Easily a top 5 play.
So Moncada also in the Futures game, right?
It was great.
It was great. He was so good that he got the MVP.
He
got the go-ahead 2-run homer. So yeah. So that's great. That's great to see. I mean, Benintendi, I feel like we think he's probably the most ready to play at this moment. But then again, you have Moncada, who, you know, is pretty much
he's got
stroking it with these guys down there at any
level. His body is major league ready. I mean, he is shredded.
That's good.
You know?
That's good.
He's yeah, but another thing is like maybe rushing a guy like that, you know.
And the other thing is, like, we don't really have a spot for him at his position either.
Yeah, so. We do a AA now that we traded Rijo. and now he's going to outgrow Double-A. And what are
Yeah.
you going to do?
Yeah.
But
But I mean, Petey's obviously at second base. And,
Exactly.
And now we've got Aaron Hill who can shadow Travis Shaw at third. So there's really not a lot of space for him now.
yeah. But
So-
he could play outfield, and they've already been trying him down there. and
Yeah, he could play
He
outfield.
could be that answer in left and not
Yeah.
Benintendi. It could be Benintendi, this year, and then we trade him. Or I don't know, but Benintendi could be dealt. Dombrowski, I'm not putting anything past him, but I don't think he'll deal Moncada.
Yeah.
I think that's the one guy in the minors that's kind of untouchable. Yeah, I don't think he won't give up Erod either.
Speaking of Erod,
Yes.
we just got news. I think it was either today or yesterday that Erod is going to start the first game of
After
the
the
second
All-Star
half
break.
after the All-Star break. So I'm pretty sure that the reason why that came about was because we got news also that Sean O'Sullivan is going to be going on the DL, on the 15-day DL for left knee tendonitis.
Yikes.
Now, this is something that, from the sound of it, seems like he's been dealing with for a while. And just because his workload has been increased lately, we've been relying on him to, be our fifth guy in the rotation. That's probably why that this has led to that tendonitis flaming up a little bit. So, hopefully he gets a little bit of rest over the All-Star break and, over the, however long they keep him on the DL. And then, he comes back and, is ready to put in some more starts for us. But again, that's something that we're going to have to monitor going forward. And I'm sure from the Red Sox perspective, they're probably not relying on him going deep into the season either if they know that this is going to be a reoccurring issue. But,
Yeah.
I mean, are you worried about Erod starting at all? I mean, because, he hasn't looked good for his past couple starts.
Well, and we kind of said it jokingly last week about how the 2015 Red Sox pitching staff kind of got a little bit of shot in the arm in May when they got rid of Juan Nieves as pitching coach and brought in Kyle Willis. And I was like, oh, maybe it's time to can Kyle Willis and bring in somebody. They didn't can Kyle Willis, but they brought in this pitching guru, Brian Bannister, right?
Yep.
And he's like, I think he pitched for the Royals back in the day, but he's been working with Erod on his hands,
Good.
and motion, and kind of altering things regarding that. So the hope is that that's gonna have him not tip his pitches anymore, and he'll be back to the effective Eduardo that we were expecting this year as a potential maybe number 2 behind Price. But
You think he's going to teach him a curveball? Because that's what he really needs.
well, I'll just borrow a line from Major League. The curveball, throw him the heater.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Well, he might have given a little bit of advice to David Price because he got shell shocked a little bit earlier in the week. We had kind of a rough game where it was that first pitch home run to Chu again.
Right, yeah.
It was like deja vu all over again, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of got beat around in that game a little bit. Then
he kind of settled down
did
a
settle
little bit.
in. He did.
Yeah, he ended up going 7 innings and getting 10 punch outs.
Yeah.
And I think Dennis Eckersley put it this way on the telecast today, and talking about that start from Price, he said, "You don't get 10 punch throwing salad."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and Eckersley.
I'm like, Eck,
Hey.
I thought salad was hair.
Hey.
He just
He's
uses
been a gem for
Oh.
the color this year. I'll tell you that. He's been a gem.
I miss Rumdog, but having Eck in there is decent.
You know,
when it's Psycho
yeah.
Lions, I'm like, oh man, looks like I'm listening to the radio.
Well, it's because he's played the game and he knows it, and he can give you insight that Remdog obviously can't give you. And then he comes up with this weird
What do you mean? Rumdog played the game, man?
Yeah, I know, but I feel like Eckersley talks more about different situations that you run in, where Remdog will talk about funny stories that he encountered on on his journey, and guys that he played with. Eckersley will give you the in-depth analysis of why certain things are going on, and then he also has these ridiculous words
Yeah.
for everything, and you're like, where did you come up with that? Yeah, he's been great this year. So. But I was going to say, one thing that Price did today that they noted was he threw a lot of changeups today. And that's something that, I've been reading a little bit about in the past couple weeks, and we haven't talked about it on the show, but I feel like maybe David Price in his past couple starts, he's just been just trying to force the fastball in there. When he gets down on the counts or when he gets late into games and he gets into those crunch situations, he's really trying to force the fastball, and that's why he's getting all those hard hit balls. Today he threw a ton of changeups and it was looking really good for him. And I had read some analysis of some other folks, and they were saying that his changeup is probably his most dominant pitch. So maybe that's just a case of Brian Bannister coming in and say, look, man, like you can't throw at 97 anymore like you used to, and you can't get the same type of movement. So why don't you stop trying to do that and play more into your strengths, which are it's your changeup. When you're throwing a 94-mile-an-hour fastball and then following up with an 87 changeup, that's gonna freak people out, and they're not gonna be able to hit it. Yeah. So
I think it's also his fastball command has really got him in trouble a lot this year, because when he is throwing that fastball, it has a lot of the plate, and guys are hitting
and
it out.
It's high up in the zone too. Like he's throwing the high heaters, and they're just way out of the zone. Like he's trying to throw fastballs low, and it's just he's throwing them right down the middle of the plate.
He's going from a thrower to a pitcher right before our eyes, Ben.
Yeah,
it's awesome. He's channeling his inner Greg Maddux. He's just going to be a thinking man's pitcher, hopefully, for the next 7 years anyway.
Yeah, hopefully.
Whew. I'll tell you.
Hopefully.
Yoán Moncada, MVP. Woohoo! Another minor leaguer we need to talk about, Christian Vasquez. Why do you feel?
Yeah.
It should be really me talking because he's my boy, and I'm a little grief-stricken.
Yeah.
Because that he's sent down, but here's the thing. He's like, you can get by on his defense, when he's hitting like 220 and stuff like that.
Yep.
If the alternative isn't raking, hitting 450, which Sandy Leon is.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, Sandy Leon was out of options, so you knew he wasn't going to go down.
Yeah.
And so now Vasquez gets some more at-bats down there, and I think it's a good thing.
I think it probably has. Vasquez getting put back down to AAA has less to do with how well Vasquez is doing and more to do with how well Sandy Leon is doing.
Definitely.
He got back up to 500 after Monday or Tuesday's game, which is just like incredible, I think he was around like 40 at-bats at that point. So, like, if you're hitting 500 with 40 at-bats, that's solid.
I heard
that's
it.
Solid.
I think, I can't remember if it was on today's telecast or yesterday's maybe. But he has the highest batting average for a Red Sox player going into the break ever. Minimum 50 at-bats.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Speaking of, like, climbing lists, okay?
And the other thing is that Hannigan also got brought back. No, he's back. Yeah, he's back. He'll be catching for right, and also probably every 1 out of 5 starts as well. So so that's why
it's so funny. Like Hannigan, that veteran, no matter who that other catcher is, he's still got to catch right. And he is just out there. You just tell he's bumming. But he's a professional. He's a professional. He's not going to say nothing. He's just going to keep running after the pass balls.
Did I hear something that, like, if Sandy Leon gets sent back to AAA, that there's a possibility that somebody could scoop him?
Well, that's the thing. That's why I was saying that he's out of options.
Yeah, exactly.
So that means in order for him to get to AAA, he would have to clear waivers.
Yeah, and
which he wouldn't.
No.
So, who knows? Maybe there's a market out there now for Sandy Leon,
That's the thing. Like, okay.
We get to keep Swihart and Vasquez, and instead lose Leon, and
we are so deep at catcher right now. Obviously we've been talking about it again and again. I think Swihart's the trade chip in that situation, but
he is. Is he healthy enough to really be a chip right now?
Oh, not right now. He's not.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how he comes back after the All-Star break.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to get back because the deadline's July 31st. So.
Yeah.
But then there's that whole like waiver deals you can do, but he wouldn't be one for that. That can go on in August. That I really don't know too much about. We'll have to read up on that for August, Ben. But yeah, so Vasquez lying out his stuff down there. Big Papi keeps hitting.
Yep.
What about is there anybody in the All-Star game? How about the home run derby? Will you be watching that?
Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll watch the home run derby. Yeah.
Who do you like?
I don't even know who's in it this year. Is Bumgardner in it?
I don't think he made it. I don't think
he
so.
Didn't make it? Oh, okay.
I don't think.
He had a no-hitter going into the 7th, by the way. I don't know if he ended up getting that. Yeah.
Speaking of 7 no-hit innings, going back to Erod for a second, his first start back down in AAA was 7 no-hit innings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
And then Friday night was his second start, and it was he gave up like 2 runs in 3 innings, and then it was rained out, so he didn't come up.
Okay.
Or a rain delay. So,
right.
but apparently they think 2 starts down there is enough to get him right. We'll see.
Well,
But I think, like you said, the loss of O'Sullivan kind of sped up the clock a little bit on that.
Yep,
Because I think they were prepared to give O'Sullivan one more start, anyways.
One thing about the All-Star break, there was a article about the top 25 players under 25 on ESPN, and
Jan Moncada.
no, this was major leaguers.
Betts, Bogarts.
So Betts and Bogarts. So Bogarts was number 7. Betts was 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty low, I thought.
That is low.
I think Manny Machado was like 3rd, and then there was a couple guys ahead of Bogarts, and I was
Nolan Arenado.
I'd have to look it back up, but it was a little low. I thought maybe I'm just
both
like
those guys. You think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I got Betts at 4. And I got Bogarts at 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I probably have Xander higher because he was just like raking it early on this year, but I mean, he just had his 10th home run, so that, I mean, like, the power is there, but not as much as Mookie. I think Mookie's already. Did he get 20 yet, or he's closing in on 20?
He's got 18. And he's got 15 steals. So could be looking at a 30-30 man.
God.
I mean, a 30-30 man hitting leadoff.
And he started slow, too.
Before?
He started slow this year, too.
I wonder if that has ever happened. Do some research here, viewers, and find out if that's ever happened before, a 30-30 man hit leadoff for a team. Let us know in the comments section.
Yeah.
Gotta love the comments section. Betsy Faye, we got to get her a couple aliases and some different emails so she can just fire some more comments out there. Seeing how she's the only one at the controls there.
Right.
Why don't you tell people your Twitter, Ben, too, just in case they want to tweet you in the answer to that question right now.
Yeah, if you want to tweet me, you can get me at Benny Frickin' Jam, and it's frickin'. Yeah.
Frickin.
And you can read it. It's right there.
Ain't no other way. Yeah, so hit him up on that if you got that answer for that. If a 30-30 guy has ever a hit in the leadoff spot, I got to think it's no. Because the only guy who would have a chance would be like Ricky, And I don't know if he ever hit 30.
And there was a season, I almost forgot this. They were talking about it. He had 105 stolen bases one year.
Who? Ricky?
Ricky.
He had the record. The record he had like 123.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
The record's like
it's
123.
It's like a whole different era of
Vince
baseball.
Coleman had 110 even. But Ricky, I think he had a year where he had like 123.
Man.
Yeah, and now it's a lost art. I mean, if not for the Red Sox have run a little bit this year. This is why it's such an exciting team.
Yeah.
This is why Dombrowski is like, okay, I have a lineup that clearly can win it all. That's why I think someone's going to move. So I think Moncada he's going to hold on to, but I think like we were talking about, off at the outfield, he's looking at it kind of as a position of depth. He looks at it like he's got 2 of those positions locked down for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So. Oh, man. So I think Benintendi's gone. That's why I tried not to watch too much of the Futures game, because I don't want to fall in love with him and then have him go.
It's all right. He didn't do too well today, so.
I was already falling in love with Manuel Margot, and then he shipped him.
Yeah.
But, everything that Dombrowski says, it leads you to believe that, because he said last week that I don't think we're going to be able to, in this market, acquire a starter that's as good as Eduardo Rodriguez. So...
Oof.
So
yeah,
I think we were putting too much. Eduardo's talented. If he can give us what he gave us last year,
long term. Yeah, long term. Okay.
I'm even saying
like
this
year has been like a little.
Well, he's
bit
only
dicey.
I think also in this, some of it was the fans, some was just I don't know, writers or whatever. But they were expecting a little too much from Erod, and I think went to. Plus the injury, But I mean, to start chirping that he was going to be the number 2 starter. It's they should have been saying number 4, which is kind of where we need him to kind of slate in.
Okay.
But All-Star game. Let me get your feeling on. Do you like the fact that it counts now?
Yeah. I mean, oh man, they were talking about this on the telecast the other day. No, I don't. I don't like it. I think the reason why they probably changed it was because they wanted it to not fall into the same type of deal where it's like the NFL or the NBA, where it's just like, it's just like an exhibition where they're just, it's just the highlights of like, okay, who can throw the best alley-oops or who can throw the longest, touchdown reception or whatever.
Right.
Nobody plays any defense, but No, it's stupid. Like it's an exhibition game. That's what it is.
Yeah,
You know, it shouldn't count for anything. And there's real implications of who's coming out of this. And like, yeah, people aren't. They're not putting in the best players either. Like certain players are taking the time off because they need to be rested for the season. So they're not taking it as seriously as those implications might want them to be.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but it has led to some pretty entertaining games since they implemented after that tie, 10 years ago or whatever. Has it been that long since they've been doing it? This time it counts. It's awful.
Yeah, I don't know.
How about Mr. Hanram? He has been raking lately until he hit the ball off his foot.
Yeah, he's been doing really well. I think there was a stat at some point this week that he was like batting close to 500 in his last 6 games or something.
Wow.
So he's been raking lately. You know what the other thing he's doing really well is he's being really patient at the plate, so he's been getting a lot of walks too.
Yeah.
So that's been good. It's good to see that he's being patient at the plate because honestly, I think his on-base percentage is more important than hitting home runs or whatever, right?
Yeah, and it's true. And they kind of wanted him to get back to that at the beginning of the season, get back to that guy that hit for average when he was with the Marlins, the guy that hit like 330, I think, one year. And get back to that guy as far as rather than he kind of came in all bulked up last year and was going to be the guy that, hits 30 bombs. But if we can get him to, get a little hot, maybe get him up to mid-20s and bombs and a guy that can hit 300. I mean, look at the AL, leaderboard, and it's unbelievable how many Red Sox.
Yeah.
Like when you look at how many guys in the AL are hitting 300, and then how many of them are Red Sox?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Bogarts and Ortiz are at the top there. They're both at about 320.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's take a look at it.
And that you did reference him hitting that ball off his shin. That one looked like it hurt really bad, and he was like breathing in pain. I thought they were going to take him out of the game, and then
he battled through.
Yeah, he was like, "No, I'm not coming out of this game," and everybody was like, "All right, well, what are we going to do, right? Like, just let him finish this at bat. Like, we can't like drag him off the field, Like, so he like readjusts his. He had that protector that kind of sits over his foot, and he put it up like on his shin, like, oh, like that's going to do anything.
I didn't understand that. I did not understand that.
I so expected him to hit a home run after that. Like, I just saw that he was just like so intense and like in the zone. I think he ended up like grounding out or something, but yeah.
He couldn't get down. I didn't know.
And then they took him out after that and put Travis Shaw in.
I didn't know what the hell was going on with that shin guy. The thing was tiny. I was like, they got the equipment manager's got to give him some more options. That was horrendous.
No, all he did, he just had like, it was his regular like foot pad, and then he just slid it up and just made it like a makeshift. The equipment manager's got to step in and be like, all right, like throw this thing on before we go back out there.
Okay, so 16 guys in the AL are hitting 300.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2.
Is Mookie over 300 yet? I think he has. He is?
He just went over.
Oh, nice.
And 4 of them are Red Sox. So we have 25% of the guys that are hitting 300. I thought
Sandy is one of them?
Oh, no, Sandy's not.
He's not
he doesn't
eligible.
he's not eligible yet. But
who's the 4th?
I kind of think that
Bogarts, Betts, Ortiz, and who else?
Petey.
Oh, Petey.
Yeah. So, Petey's hitting 304.
Yeah, Petey's
Betts.
been raking it this week. He had a couple home runs this week, I believe.
Did he, Petey?
He had a home run on Monday. He had a home run. Oh no, he had a single today where he scored a couple runs. Did I see that he had another one?
I think he just has the one bomb.
I think he just had the one.
So what does that put him at? Like 8?
Yeah.
So he's having a little comeback season. He'll get close to 20 bombs, and if he hits 300, that's a guy that can still play and is a dirt dog, and we love him.
Yeah, absolutely. And earlier on this week, something that we forgot to mention about Craig Kimbrel, he got blown up on Tuesday. That was a really bad save opportunity for him. Or was it not a save opportunity? It was a non-save opportunity, right?
And when you look at his splits in non-save and save opportunities, the non-save opportunities, he's like 6.75 ERA.
Yeah.
And in the save opportunities, he's like 1.43 or something. it's ridiculous. I mean, sooner or later, don't you just have to cave to that and be like, okay, I just have to bring somebody else in these situations because the guy just whatever. I mean, you know, it's about putting guys in the best situation to win, right?
Right.
So, and to perform well. So eventually, I mean, as sad as it is, and you know, you got this guy to come in and be that stopper, you know, for an inning, no matter if it's a safe situation or not, and he can't do it. But it's like, hey.
So here's the interesting thing, right?
But it was also a case where, you know, the foul bashes will be all over foul for doing it.
Yeah.
Is this what you were just going to mention?
I was going to talk about the next day.
Oh, yeah. So I'll let you have the next day.
Okay.
Go talk about it, and then I will defend my man.
So essentially, he gives up probably the worst. That was probably the worst appearance that he's ever had, Craig Kimbrel. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were talking about, they're like, I've never seen him, you know, juice the bases and give up a grand slam.
Yeah. He's not. To Robinson Chirinos too. It was like a 215 hitter, and that was a bomb.
Yeah.
I thought it was a 3-run shot. It was grand slam.
Was it 3-1 shot? Oh yeah, it was 3-1 shot. My bad.
No worries.
Yeah. So then that was on Tuesday. On Wednesday, it gets to another situation, and this is not another save. This is, I think they were up by 4 at this point. On Tuesday, they were down by 1 when he came in. I think.
Yeah. Correct.
So they brought Kimbrel in again, back to back, and you know, I'm thinking to myself, why are they doing this? This is so dumb. Like,
yeah.
You know, why would they ever do this? And apparently, it came out that Kimbrel was like, I want to pitch the next day. I don't care what the situation is. I want to pitch.
Yeah.
And so
I
John marches him out there, and he did well. He got his revenge. You know, he looked okay. I think he gave up a couple hits and no runs, but
yeah. I can understand that. He's a competitor, you know, and he doesn't want to go into the break with that sour taste in his mouth of his worst career outing. He wants to get that off the books as soon as possible, so that's why he's like that. Plus, it's like he didn't until he pitched in that game where he got blown up. He was the most rested reliever in that bullpen.
Right.
I mean, he hadn't pitched since the previous Friday, so it's like he was due to throw. He's not a guy that likes to go 4 days without throwing, you know?
Again, though, very easy to look at what would have happened if that didn't work out for him, and everybody those Farrell haters would have jumped on him for that and said, what the heck are you doing putting in your star closer again right after he just had one of the worst performances?
Oh, yeah.
And just, you know, like throw another game away. Like how quickly that would have turned if that would have gone sour for him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it was pretty much a non-event because it went pretty much without a hitch, but that could have been a huge story.
Yeah.
Again, it's just those situations where, you know, people sometimes scratching their heads as to, you know, what Farrell's thinking. And yeah, you know, to a lot of armchair coaches, you can say, okay, well, you shouldn't have marched him out there after, you know, no days of rest after his worst day. But, you know, we're not in there. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes with the other relief pitchers, how their arms are feeling, how their shoulders are feeling, you know, what their pitch count is. I don't know what any of their pitch counts are, or like how they're doing for the week. So, you know, it's hard to know in those situations.
It sure is. So what? I mean, you gotta like the way the Sox are playing. What does today's win put them? 10 games up? 10 games over 500?
So yeah, I think they're 2 games back of the Orioles, and now they're 49 and 38.
Okay.
Yep, tied with the Blue Jays for second place. Well, they're technically in second place, but
they've won 4 in a row.
I don't know how they like technically seed them when they do that. When they have like the same, I don't know how they do that.
I try not trouble myself with it because I realize every team's going to play 162.
There you go.
You know, I try not to, you know, waste my worry cells elsewhere.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
But I'm just looking ahead, post All-Star break, we do have the Bronx Bombers for 3 on the road. And so that's going to shape up where Erod gets the first crack, right? And then we'll probably go right, and then Price is going to sit. Oh, no. Maybe if it depends. They'll probably go Porcello. Because Porcello will have a full week, you know, just in case Wright pitches in the All-Star game. Mm-hmm. You know, I can kind of give him a little break. So, yeah, so it looks like now it's going to be Erod versus Pineda in that first game Friday night. And then Wright. Oh, it is Wright. Okay. Wright, Sabathia. Wright's in there. And
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. And then Price, Tanaka on Sunday night baseball next week. So we're going to be on an hour later next week. We'll be on at 9 Pacific next week, midnight Eastern, Sunday nights.
Roger that.
But, yeah, man. And then Porcello will come up after Price. So it'll be interesting. That'll give Porcello a long time off. He pitched Saturday, and he won't pitch again until Tuesday. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. After the off day. And then they did say when that next fifth starter spot comes up, I believe they were saying it was going to be July 23rd, and we're looking at maybe Clay getting another shot in there. So I hope that doesn't disappoint Betsy Faye too much, that old Clay is going to get another crack.
She's not going to be happy.
No.
No,
Tell us in the comment section, Betsy, and all you other folks, tell us in the comment section, all right? Let us know if we're doing a good job. Send us out some Red Sox trivia, something like that, and anything. You go to a game and you have an interesting story happening, let us know in the comment section. We'd like to hear about it because, this is a show by fans for the fans.
That's right.
That's
right.
We're all Red Sox fans here sweeping, just showing how Red Sox Nation is sweeping. So far-reaching that we do a podcast from North Hollywood in the AfterBuzz studio. It's pretty crazy.
That's right.
Oh, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, we got a couple notes to wrap up on here. Henry Ramos hit for the cycle on July 4th. He's batting .309 in his past 26 games. He's an outfielder. Another outfielder.
Is he a
just
AAA
hit for the cycle.
Is he AA? Or?
I'm not sure.
You bring these gems, and then I can't.
Henry Ramos. I don't know. I've never even. He didn't pop up on my radar. Yeah, he's on the top 30 prospects. I think he's like floating in the teens somewhere.
Okay. Well, somebody.
But that could be a guy that they. I think I looked at his profile and they projected him 2016. So maybe he'll be a guy that they lean on at some point during the end of the season.
Somebody tweet Ben and tell him who he plays for. If that's a Paw Sock or a.
Yeah.
Or a Portland Sea Dog, let us know.
Yeah, and then the other guy was that was on fire, Ben Attendee. We talked about him. He was the prospect of the week. In 7 games, he was batting .391. Yeah,
he's scorching. He's scorching right now.
He's good. And then as we're wrapping out here, 2 pieces that you need to check out if you haven't and you're a serious Red Sox fan. The first one is the article David Ortiz where he was talking about that whole circus that he went through to get onto the Boston Red Sox and how the Boston Red Sox were the only team that gave him the contract offer. Nice. And it was all because Pedro told, I think it was Theo at the time,
go get this guy.
I'll sign my contract extension if you sign David Ortiz.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's another. Give a little fist bump to Pedro on that one for the assist.
Where was that article found?
I think that was on ESPN.
Okay.
And then the other one was the Stephen Wright story on I think it was the Players Tribune.
Yeah.
That new one that I think was that Jeter that started that one?
Yeah, Jeter started that one. That's why I can't really read it.
It was a great story.
And as a Red Sox fan, you shouldn't watch Jeter's rag either. You shouldn't be reading it. Come on.
But Stephen Wright wrote it.
All right.
He wrote it. It was great. It was like talking about how he came up through the minors and how like him and his buddies were all living on like $900 every 2 weeks, and like people were stealing their stuff out of their apartments because they were living in crap areas. And just talking about that whole rigmarole that they went through in the minors, and then kind of culminating in how he learned the knuckleball as kind of a last saving grace for him.
Nice.
So he was like, look, I'm making my living off of pretty much something that was a trick pitch.
Yeah.
As I was growing up. So
love it.
It was really cool.
Check
2
those
things
out,
you need
guys.
to check out.
Definitely. All right, gang. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of Red Sox Wrap 360. For Ben Fay, I'm Mike Conley. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Go Sox.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.